Good afternoon, YouTube. This is Arizona RE, and of course I have to start off every MotoVlog with a weather update. Folks, every year after the monsoons in Tucson, Arizona, there's one day where you walk outside and you truly know that the monsoon rains are over, because you walk outside and there's a briskness to the air. It's dried out. Even if it's 90 degrees, it's dry. Well, folks, that day was this past weekend. And I'm riding right now in 82 degree weather. Not a single solitary cloud in the sky. The relative humidity is 10. Look at those mountains. I got out of work half an hour ago and I just could not bring myself to drive home. I had to take a much longer route home because this was just too perfect. So it's likely nothing you've ever seen before, but I gotta tell you, it brings me a certain degree of joy, and it is just beautiful. The ride to work this morning, 59 degrees, and I loved every moment of it. So I thought I would pop on and do a quick MotoVlog and go home via Sunrise Drive this morning, or this afternoon. And it is just beautiful, absolutely beautiful. So I'll get with you after this busy intersection. So, an interesting thing for a lot of you motovloggers out there, this little bit of information will probably appeal to you. But this week, GoPro releases its new line of cameras. Not a new line, I guess, but their most recent updates. The new GoPro Hero 4. And the GoPro Hero 4, I think they're retaining the silver and the black as far as option packages, if you will. And my understanding is that the most expensive and the most packed with options will be able to record at 4K. That's pretty unbelievable, but there it is, at 4K. And here I've been recording at 720 still, because on most computers, most internet connections, 720 still looks pretty good. But since a lot of times I'll use other cameras and I'm mixing them in, if you use a 720 camera and you cut to it when you have when your primary project is 1080, that 720 camera is always going to look pretty shabby compared to the rest of the project. So I've been recording in 720 because all my other cameras are 720 other than the GoPro. Now, my understanding is that these newer cameras are $500–600, which is incredible, but GoPro did something. I think they made a really good move, and I'm appreciative of it because I'm not a big budget kind of guy. And GoPro, in addition to their GoPro Hero 4, they've re-released the GoPro Hero. And the GoPro Hero, the new one now, comes in a little black case, and it's a plain Jane 1080 GoPro camera. So it's essentially their GoPro Hero 3 white, like I'm using now. The only difference that I've been able to tell from the layout, it's got the 5 megapixel lens and all that good stuff. So it's essentially the white, but it doesn't have the option to run an external microphone. So maybe that's the only letdown. But here's the kicker. That new GoPro Hero, discounted GoPro Hero, is only $129. Now that's still $129, but it's certainly not $300, which was the original price when the GoPro Hero 3 White first came out. So that's pretty amazing. I'd say GoPro's working in the right direction, because that $129, man, I've been shopping and I've been looking, and for some of the other 1080p cameras out there, there's quite a few out there in that price range. So it looks like GoPro's looking to sort of keep the competition on its heels, while in addition adding a higher end camera for those guys that are going to stay on top of the most recent products that they have. But going deeper into it than that, think about this. For guys like me, I like to have multiple camera angles, you know? So how cool is it that I could stock up and have a couple of 1080p cameras to put on places like my foot pegs, or facing back at me like I've been doing with that other camera. I mean, just how cool is that, you know? They've put themselves in both corners of that market. So now you can have a GoPro Hero, say you could have the Hero 3 Plus or the Hero 4 as your main camera, and then still run some 1080p cameras, GoPros, for your cutaway angles. I mean, that to me is just amazing. Or if you're the budding MotoVlogger out there like myself, or something like that, and you want to have a GoPro and you want to have access to all the really cool mounting and accessories and stuff that they have, well, you can get in on it with that GoPro Hero, and there you are. So I don't know, my hat's off to GoPro. They're an American company, and I think they're really thinking about their target audience. And you know, they really have their market research down. All they have to do is just watch YouTube. That's really all they have to do, is watch YouTube, and they've got their market audience. So their market research being done for them by me and by you. So it's just amazing to me that such a cool company has gone out there and then thought enough of the people buying their stuff and said, you know, we want to keep it accessible to the consumer who isn't going to go out and buy a $600 camera to strap to their head. You know, there's other guys out there that want to do it too, and it seems like they're opening the door to them. $129 for a brand new GoPro camera. Hats off to them. Of course, you know, now I've got the lust, so I'm kind of torn between whether I'll just stay with the Hero 3 White that I have on my chin right now, and since it has audio, and then picking up maybe one or two of those other GoPro Heroes and just start shooting everything in 1080. I'll improve my vlog and the quality of the videos that I'm producing, and then I'll also have them on hand for any other projects, you know, shooting music videos for my band, I mean. That'll be really cool, strapping one on the headstock of each guitar on stage, putting the chest harness on the drummer, and then having a fixed camera on the audience somewhere. You could really cut away and get a lot of good stuff out of those performances. So I think it's really cool, and like I said, hats off to them. And along those lines, apparently one of the GoPros that they've packaged out of this new GoPro Hero 4 is a rock and roll version, or a music version, where they basically come with a series of mounts that lets you mount them to a myriad of different instruments without harming the instruments. And I'm hoping what that also means is that the preamps that are in these cameras, the audio preamps, are a little better quality than the ones that are in this Hero 3 that I'm using now. Because the one that I'm using now, it's really easy to clip. It's really easy to have the sensitive audio get overwhelmed by background noise. So that being the case, I'm pretty excited about the new GoPro Hero 4 music package. That's something that really caught my eye. Again, I think GoPro is definitely hitting it out of the park this time. Not that they haven't before, you know. Anyone that does a read-up on the history of the company knows that, man, they started out selling, I think it was, I forget what it was, just They were only in the tens of thousands as far as cameras go their first year. And subsequent to that, just millions and millions of them. I think upwards of 30 million, 34 million the very next year. So, you know, they're a highly successful company. I'm not saying they haven't hit anything out of the park prior, but they've definitely done it again. And I'm really glad that they've paid attention to the market. They're looking at who their consumers are. They realize that there are consumers that don't have real deep pockets and maybe want to get in on the GoPro game, and this is a good way to intro them into that, because they're still going to buy all the same connectors and mounting and all that good stuff. So that's pretty cool. Hats off to GoPro. So that's it. Just a really short vlog about the GoPro cameras and about how beautiful my weather is right now. And I'm so happy it's this time of year. I know it's going to be shutting down some of you fellas up north. I realize that, but I got to tell you, for selfish reasons, I've been putting up with the heat and the crazy monsoon season. I'm so happy it's over. I'm really looking forward to a nice winter riding season. And as far as the GoPro stuff goes, if you are a new motovlogger and you're contemplating buying cameras, I know I have several guys that are subscribers who use alternate cameras other than GoPro. And of course, you guys have seen that I use alternate cameras too. Yeah, I'm a cheapskate, I'll be honest. But as far as all that goes, please feel free to comment on your thoughts regarding the new GoPro lineup, and whether or not you'll contemplate getting one now if you don't already use GoPro. And if you're a seasoned GoPro user, you know, how do you feel about perhaps less than a year ago having picked up a 3 Plus, and now they have the new Hero 4K out there? You know, I imagine that's a little bit off-putting, but it's like all technology, cell phones and TVs and everything else. You know, the new stuff is going to come out. Honestly, you know, all the old GoPro stuff is still worthy. There are plenty of people using GoPro Hero 2s and GoPro HDs. So, you know, it's not like you're in a bad ship if that's where you're at. But if you're one of those guys that stays on the cutting edge of that kind of gear, you know, what does the 4K mean to you, and are you looking forward to it? So by all means, feel free to comment. I appreciate you guys tuning in, and I'll see you next time.